guy was driving his car and he got a flat tire. He opens the trunk, but he doesn't have a jack to lift the car. And he's in a hurry. But he sees that far down the road, there is a house. So he starts walking towards the house. And he's thinking, he said, well, maybe that guy from that house has a jack, and then I can fix my car. But maybe the guy doesn't want to lend me his jack, in which case I'm going to offer him $10 to sort of rent it. But maybe he says no. And if that's the case, I'm going to offer him $20 because I need to get to work. And if he says no, I'll offer him $50. And so he keeps going and going until he knocks on the door of the house, and then a kind old guy comes, opens the door, and says, yes. And the guy goes like, you can stick your jack up your... And the reason I start normally talking about gratitude with these stories is because I was that guy. I was like that guy, short-tempered, bitter, less capable of realizing the good things around me, and constantly looking for reasons to be mad about something. Reasons to be like, oh yeah, that was something done to me or against me, blah, blah, blah. And that changed after I started studying and practicing gratitude. So, that being said, my name is Fernando Nava, and I'm going to talk to you about what is gratitude, how does it benefit us, and how to practice it. The story, how I got to this subject, is because I have a podcast in Spanish called Cápsulas Herenciales. I think some people here had already listened to it. And I share in that podcast in Spanish information about inspiration, personal productivity, and personal development. I created the podcast with the Latino entrepreneurs at heart to try to help them building their businesses here. One of the subjects I studied was gratitude. And one of the advices was to sort of create a gratitude anchor, which means look for something that you can find wherever you are, and whenever you see that, be thankful for it. So I chose a parrot. And that's a painting by my wife. And so in that moment, when I did this, I used to live close to the office, and I would walk there. So I would say, well, if I see a parrot on the way there, I'll be consciously grateful for the parrot. And we live in Bonaire. It's not that hard to see a parrot. So every day I saw the parrot and was like thankful about it, I would be happier when I got to work. I'd be kinder to other people. I'll be more relaxed. I'd be better at work. And then on the way back when I'm walking and I see the parrot again, when I got home, again I was more relaxed, I was more joyful, and was more fun to be around. And then I realized, how this practice of gratitude helped me become a better person and how easy it was to use it. And that's why I like to share this subject with people. So the next thing is going to be a short exercise. And your job is going to be trying to find the Hershey's Kiss, okay? And if you check under your seat, you will not find it. I didn't buy that. Okay, that is going to be hiding under one of those 3 cups. And what you need to do is try to be able to tell me where it ended. Okay, ready?
This is the shell game. I'm going to hide this Hershey's Kiss under this cup, and the object is for you to pay attention and follow along and try to guess which cup the Hershey's Kiss is under at the end.
Okay, you see it now?
Try to guess if it's in the
Where is
left
it?
cup, the middle cup, or the right cup.
some say middle. You say Lisa's here. Anybody here? Okay. Now let's see.
The middle cup. If you guess the middle cup, you got it right. So now
Easy
I'm gonna
enough?
make it a
Okay,
little more
now you got to do the same.
I've
But
added
you have
an
9
extra
cups.
pair of hands, and I've added
You have yellow
additional
cups, blue
colors.
cups, red cups.
But that's only to distract you from the pink cups. The pink cups will always have, one of the pink cups will always have the Hershey Kiss underneath. So let's get started. So can you guess where the
Where is
Hershey Kiss is?
Your left. Yeah. Yeah. However, and I know some of you found it, but how many of you saw the duck? How many saw the fifth hand? Do you see a change of color? There is a structure in our brain called the activated reticle. Basically, that structure works as a search bar. When you Google something, you write what you want to find, and that's the results you're going to get. Your brain works in a similar fashion. Your brain is subject to an incalculable amount of information at every moment, and it has to prioritize what is relevant and what is not. And it's funny because it's just like a search bar. What you put in the bar is what you're going to find. What you ask your brain to look for is what you're going to find. If you look for reasons to be mad, you will find them. But another fun fact when you're using Google is, do you guys know autocomplete? When you start writing something down and it completes it for you? Well, your brain does that as well. And it starts from zero. So when you wake up in the morning and you don't tell your brain to look for something, it's going to keep looking for the same things it was looking yesterday. And it will be effectively repeating your day. So that's why before that I put that what we did before with the cups is called a selective attention test. We all exercise selective attention because we are not able to process all the stuff going around. And one of our defaults is the negativity and the fear. And gratitude is one way to, let's say, protect us from that bias. I would say probably the biggest author right now in the last 15, 20 years on gratitude is Robert Emmons. He's a professor in UC Davis. He's one of the founders of the Journal of Positive Psychology, and he's wrote several books on gratitude. And his concept of gratitude is when it has two parts. The first part is we are aware about something good happening to us. That's part one. So that's why we are looking at the gift. Part two is realizing that that good thing came to us from outside. It's not something we built or created. It's basically a happiness that was given by somebody else to us. Okay? And I think gratitude is seen by a lot of people like as something new agey or a bit of hippie or is not hardcore administration or business. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few. There's a few hippie groups that have been researching on this. In Harvard, they did several research and investigations where they can actually link health and gratitude. Yale, using a journal of gratitude or a gratitude journal, which is basically any notebook where you write something that you're grateful for, will help you sleep better and sleep faster. On Yale, they did a study where they realized that using a journal of gratitude will give you more enthusiasm, will give you more energy, and it actually will improve your span of attention, which I found very interesting and is something that we all can use now. In Stanford, they offered one of the courses they have is on journaling for gratitude, and they've in one of the research they found that people that did a frequent practice of gratitude had 27% less stress. Colombia, there was in several of the research they found a link between gratitude and your immune system. And also how it reduces anxiety and depression. And I know it at the beginning, if you hear that, you're like, well, that sounds odd. Why gratitude should affect my immune system? Well, when you are stressed, you release a number of chemicals that are not supposed to be there long term. Gratitude helps you relax, so you don't release those chemicals, and hence you are healthier. Also, when you are grateful for something, you are noticing something good around you, you have less reasons to be anxious for. So gratitude can help your physical health, your mental health, your professional development, and your personal relationships. Just to mention a few studies, but a study in 2017 found that people that practice gratitude had lower blood sugar. Another study found people that practice gratitude often had a lower systolic blood pressure. On mental health, several studies link gratitude to less depression, less anxiety, and less stress. There was another study in 2018 called Emotional Success and the Power of Gratitude, Compassion, and Pride. And it tells you that people that exercise gratitude have more self-control. And normally when you have more self-control, you have also a better mental health because you feel less things are out of your control. Okay? In business, gratitude helps you treat your employees better, your clients better, be a better leader. It will help you in all areas of your life, of your business life. And on personal relationships, there is an interesting story from a guy from Chile called Marcial Losada, and he created something called Losada rate, or tasa Losada in Spanish, which basically he took a bunch of married couples, he monitored their communication and tracked them for like 20 years. And the couples that stayed together the longest had a positive to negative relationship of comment of 5-1, meaning for each negative thing they told each other, they were saying 5 positive things to each other. And a lot of those positive things were thanking for small things. So basically, another word for gratitude is to appreciate. And I know a lot of people here is in business, and I think you'll understand this quite better. You either appreciate or you depreciate. When you exercise gratitude, you are expressing to the universe and to the source of that blessing that you receive that you like it and you appreciate it. And if you constantly keep receiving something that you are not thankful for, eventually, you'll stop receiving it. Uh, as I mentioned before briefly, we have something called negative bias in the brain, and this is a byproduct of our evolution. Remember, right now, of course, we are at the top of the blah, blah, blah of the mountain, but for most of our history as a species, we were a bold primate with no claws and not really strong. We were easily eaten by other animals. So our brain developed fear to keep us alive. And if for most of our history as a species, optimism was fatal. If you had two cavemen and one of them went out of the cave and smelled the flowers and listened to the birds, he got eaten. He was going to get eaten by that tiger, and his gene pool died there. Instead, the other guy that was tense and afraid got to survive and got to pass his genes down to us. One of the ways to offset that negative bias, which is natural, is gratitude. So gratitude only helps you with a few things, like happier, healthier, sleeping better, just this thing. And it does that because basically when you choose to practice gratitude, you take a different path. As I said before, your search bar, your Google bar is going to go back to what you were looking for the day before. The moment you start looking for good things, now you are literally experiencing a different world. And you are going to get, if you take a different road, you're going to get to a different place. It's basically that simple. When you have gratitude, which is many things, but it can be also an attitude, you will take actions based on that attitude, and you will have different results based on the actions you take. And those results will create expectations for the future. The opposite of this, if I believe everything is going to go horribly, and that's my attitude, my actions are going to be aligned to that. And then my results are not going to be good, and then I'm going to say, see, I was right. Everything sucked. Well, yeah, because everything sucks because you think everything sucks. These are a few ways to practice gratitude. A journal of gratitude, which is literally it can be a post-it. A little post-it block, that can work. Doesn't matter, as long as you write it down. For the people that is very spiritual, praying, it's a form of gratitude, and a very powerful one. Sending a thank you note, doing a weekly inventory of things that you are thankful for, and one of the most powerful ways of experiencing gratitude, according to multiple brain scan studies, is being on the other side of gratitude. Is when you help someone and that person is grateful to you, your brain goes crazy. So sometimes the best thing you can do to help yourself is help somebody else, and you get to experience those feelings. So I told you at the beginning all the changes I experienced, how my world changed when I started experiencing gratitude. But the reality is, my world didn't change. Gratitude did not change my world. Gratitude changed me. And the moment I changed, my world changed by itself. And I believe it's a very powerful, pretty much free tool that we can all use. And all I can tell you right now is, thank you. Thank you.